one small part of the National Capital Region of the NCR, there are at least 1 lakh citizens who have used their hard-earned money, their life savings to buy homes. That money is now gone and they're not even getting their dream home. They've gone to the police, they've gone to the state government, they've gone to the builder, they've chased the builder for months and years together. They've gone to protest at Jantar Mantar, they've even gone to the courts. Yet with each passing day, it looks like their fight is only getting more and more difficult. The builders, the greedy builders, who gave promises, who sold them dreams, have now gone missing, claim they don't have the money. The state government, who won elections and came on the promise of giving them their homes, is only now giving empty assurances. This is their story this evening. Today, this is their story. Tomorrow, it could be yours. Take a look.
Amit Gupta is a common man who hoped to have his dream home someday. He worked hard, saved a bit and took a loan and paid for a new home. That dream has been shattered now.
क्योंकि वो पेमेंट नहीं हो रही है तो मुझे अपनी सेविंग्स में से निकाल के वो उसको लोन देना पड़ रहा है सो दैट कि मैं मेरा सिविल खराब ना हो, मैं बैंकरप्ट ना हो जाऊं, ताकि मेरे इन फ्यूचर कभी ना हो, क्योंकि आई हैव गिवन गारंटी अगर मैं नहीं दूंगा तो वो मेरी प्रॉपर्टी को, कार को, इवन विटनेसेस, they will use every damn action, they will take every damn action and they'll suck out the money.
If one travels across the National Capital Region, one can find thousands of such painful stories. People cheated by greedy developers and abandoned by the government.
मैंने ये 2010 में बुक किया था और ये सोच के बुक किया था कि मेरा अपना घर होगा और मैं रहूँगा, लेकिन जीवन भर की पूरी कमाई लगाने के बाद भी अगर मैं बात करूँ तो आज हम 7 साल 8 साल बाद रोड पे घूम रहे हैं.
They are still duping us. Buyers are getting pissed up. In future, I don't see within 10 years nothing is going to happen. We will be there same what we have been there at this moment. Now there seems to be a proper nexus between government and builders.
Many real estate giants like Amrapali and JP have now claimed bankruptcy. The law helps banks recover money, but thousands of home buyers have nowhere to go. Is there any hope? Let's find out.
The home buyers are still yet to see a road map that will pave the way for this. Some of them even saying that many of these projects like Amrapali do not even fall under the 50,000 flats that are being promised. And meanwhile, the NCLT law does not even have the home buyers as assured creditors, which mean they do not even have the first right over the properties that they have invested in. And the central government looking to amend the law, how long will the home buyers have to wait to get justice? In Greater Noida, this is Milan Sharma for Mirror Now.
Taking on the problems and the issues that are being raised by citizens across the country this evening is Raman Malik, representing the BJP, and Sanjay Jha, representing the Congress party. We have 3 basic questions that we are going to address. We'll take as many callers as we can because home buyers have been messaging, tweeting, sending us emails and calling us for at least a few weeks now. These are the 3 questions. If a builder fails to deliver on time, should he just be jailed? Should he be sent behind bars? Is that what the solution needs to be? That's question number 1. Question number 2. Should bankruptcy law safeguard the voters' interest, the citizen, the home buyer's interest as much as the banks? Right now, preference is given to the banks who've given loans to these builders if they go bankrupt and run out of money. And if after all of that something is left, perhaps the citizen will get their money back. Should that change immediately? Question number 3. Except courts, what options do the home buyers have? What about the state governments? What about the center? Can anybody else help them under the bankruptcy law, under RERA? What are their options? We will discuss all of that. So let's begin with the first question. Mr. Raman Malik. They're seniors, elderly citizens, retired officers who've saved for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And they bought these houses 10 years ago. They've been running around for 5 years now. The burden of the EMI increases, the burden of the rent increases. and nothing is happening. Shouldn't the builder who sold them that dream go to jail?
I firmly believe that this problem has to be addressed from its genesis. And that is what a lot of governments, state governments, are trying to do. We must understand how this problem has emerged. And I am not trying to set any political points here, but having known the real estate industry, having worked in it, I can tell you certain facts. The fact is that these licenses to develop these residential, commercial colonies were given by a government, and that government licenses were there for development. There was an amount of EDC, which is also external development charges, that was taken. Now, the license terms on which these developers were given the rights to develop were favoring more to the developer. If we go into the thing that whose government and what was the part, we can go on to it and we know what would come out. But at the same time, must understand that these licenses were given under a particular law which was framed. Now, to change these things, it would take time because of all kind of interests in it.
What are these complicated, what are these complications that you're talking about?
That the interest.
What are these complications that you're talking about?
Right. So let's take a small issue. Let's take a small issue. The small issue being, I will address it in two formats. One is the license being granted to a particular developer to develop this property on certain norms, one, and the second is of the EDC, which directly impacts to the development of the area whereby the roads and infrastructure is developed.
Mr. Malik,
So
what you're talking about is great.
That is the
no, what you're talking about
granted.
is great, but it can only be now for what's coming next. You can, with this, you can only protect the home buyers of tomorrow. What about the home buyers of yesterday?
That is what I'm trying to
No, but what I want to first speak about is the home buyers of yesterday and today. What about those who've been stuck and have lost their money over the past 15 years? And the builders are now turning around and saying, hey, if we claim bankruptcy, we can get away with it. They can sell off our highway, they can sell off the expressway, our building, whatever, do what the banks want. And there is absolutely no accountability to these people.
See, the accountability had to be coming from the government of the day which granted the licenses. Why I say that is, now supposing there's a sector being developed and that development happens and this feeding road is just 20 meters or 18 meters and they have to do. So these kind of things, once they are developed, they require basic infrastructure. A sector maybe of 100 acres plus with multiple people staying there and all those things. They need certain amenities. Then the government needs to buy the land from the private people, develop the infrastructure, and that is coming through the EDC. So that is one part of it. The second part of it, which is the more pertinent question, is about the rights of the buyers. Now, what has happened over the period of time is that they were allowed to book the property on just a basic agreement to sell. They were able to pre-launch it, take cash, take in, divert the funds to another place. How it happened, the whole nexus is known to the entire nation. This entire process continued.
Okay.
And that is where
okay, so in both ways, from both the points that you've made, Sanjay Jha, the fingers are being pointed towards you to say that it was the previous establishment who gave the long rope, who allowed these builders, these greedy builders, to go on and launch 70 projects, take money from 30,000-40,000 buyers and then leave them completely empty-handed. What do you want to say to that, Sanjay Jha?
Tanvi, Tanvi, I don't want to reduce this debate to, the typical tu meme between the Congress and the BJP. I hope Mr. Malik is aware that there are different state governments, and end of day, all the state governments take their own call, and not all of them have been the Congress party. In fact, some of the biggest scams have happened in the BJP ruled states. But I don't want to get into that usual slugfest. The problem that you have is that today the laws in India are not really, what I would call is protective of the real minority and the smaller, shall we say, house purchaser. Today, for example, even if you look at the bankruptcy code, the rescue and resurrection part of it favors a large institutional creditor, and I think to that extent, the person, like for example, if any ordinary person is purchased a flat for which he was supposed to get delivery, and if he doesn't get it, he has very little recourse. So what needs to be done, frankly, are two things, in my opinion. Number one, if the project overruns the committed period by which time it was going to be delivered to him so that he could move in and live there, then I think there should be a very hefty performance clause whereby the house owner must be compensated by getting a certain or huge overdraft rate of interest and a financial compensation for the delay. So that's the first part. I believe that if you start using criminal acts and putting people in jail, that might possibly, I think that is an option, but should be only exercised where it's a very brazen case of flouting of regulations and an attempt to
why is that
money,
they have taken away money, lakhs and crores of money of the home buyers, of the
Tanvi,
citizens,
can I come in,
and then turned around
I will give you
said,
classic examples.
we have lost that money, we don't have that money, we can't finish this project. That's what they're doing. What is this not a crime that they should be sent to jail for?
Tanvi, I'll give you classic examples.
No, neither of you are agreeing to this fact that you have to send them to jail. Sanjay Jha, give me one example where you've actually managed to get the money back. Whether it's a builder, whether it's an industrialist, even if it is Vijay Mallya, he's sitting abroad, we don't have zilch coming back. Either they can try and sell these buildings of his, and God knows who's going to get what. So how will these home buyers get anything? I have a caller on the phone line. I will come back to both of you. But please. Okay, 30 more seconds. Finish that, Sanjay Jha, and then callers, because you're not listening to what they're telling you. They have run around for 10 years. And you can't now say that a builder can be penalized. A builder who is saying, I don't have money, it cannot be penalized any further. Supreme Court has told one of these companies to pay 2,000 crore rupees. They can't do that. They don't have the money they claim. Maybe if you send them to jail and sell off their private property, something will come off of it.
That's precisely my point.
Yes. So what is the protection for home buyers by the government is a question.
If you want to...
Yes, let me just read this out. Beverly says, why can't you put the citizens' interest
couple of classic
first?
Examples,
Yes, both of my panelists, I'll come back to you. Beverly says, why can't you all put the citizens' interest first, irrespective of the government changes? Aren't all of you elected for that? A millionaire builder gets relief by IBC and a taxpayer gets harassed for not paying EMI of a non-existent property. Why? Says Dr. Shilpa. I believe Shilpa is on the phone line. She's one of the home buyers that has been left in the lurch. Shilpa, good evening. Go ahead, please.
Question. Hello?
Yes, Shilpa. What's your question?
Yes. See, I told my question on the panel itself that a millionaire builder gets relief. He goes for insolvency and now he is free. But a person like me who's paying taxes, who's paying rent, who's paying a monthly EMI is harassed. People actually come up to my home for not paying 1 month's EMI, which runs in thousands. And I'm, after my house, where is my house? There is no clarity. When will I get my house? How long am I going to pay my rent and the EMI? Where is my protection?
Shilpa, have you all approached the state government to see what options are there?
State government, we registered.
Where are you based? Where are you calling from?
Ministers, but no relief.
Where are you calling from? Where are you based?
I am based in Noida.
Okay. So what does the state say?
They say you have taken the loan from the bank, so you have to pay the EMI. As simple as that. But now the banks have stopped loan disbursements for the JP. They say that we can't give you any further loan for the JP builder. So even they think that the JP builder is not up to the mark. But now we have to pay the EMI because we took the loan. After that, I took the flat under subvention scheme. And in subvention scheme, the banks make due diligence and they give loans only after they are approving the project.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Shilpa, thanks for calling and thanks for watching. Hopefully soon there will be a resolution. Perhaps the centre comes out with a solution. Mr. Dhirendra Singh, who's an MLA from Uttar Pradesh, I'm given to understand that he's been taking up the issue of home buyers quite often, is on the phone line. Mr. Singh, आपने काफ़ी ये जो घरों की प्रॉब्लम है, जो लोगों ने घर खरीदे और उन्हें मिले नहीं, उसका मुद्दा उठाया था. क्या कर रही है सरकार?
देखिए, जो बायर्स की समस्या है, इनके बारे में हमने पूरी तरीके से सरकार के संज्ञान में ला दिया गया था कि किस तरीके से बिल्डरों ने इनके साथ धोखा किया है. और हमारी मुख्यमंत्री के साथ मुलाकात भी हुई थी, उसमें मैंने बायर्स का पक्ष रखा था. कुल मिलाकर बायर्स की जो समस्या थी उसको देखते हुए मुख्यमंत्री ने बिल्डर्स को बुलाया. तो उस वक्त बिल्डर्स ने ये आश्वासन दिया था कि हम दिसंबर तक तकरीबन 50,000 फ्लैट बायर्स को सौंप देंगे.
ये बिल्डर्स का आश्वासन था या ये सरकार का आश्वासन था?
ये बिल्डर से ही माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने पूछा था. तो बिल्डर्स ने पूरा आश्वासन दिया कि हम 50,000 से ज्यादा फ्लैट आपको दे देंगे. आज मेरी इस संबंध में तीनों प्राधिकरणों के मुख्य कार्यपालक अधिकारी से बात हुई थी. तो तकरीबन दिसंबर लास्ट तक हम लोग 45 से 50,000 फ्लैट देने की स्थिति में आ गए हैं और वो कार्रवाई जोर शोर से चल रही है.
ये आप कह रहे हैं कि 50,000 फ्लैट नोएडा के जो लोग हैं उनमें उनको दिए जाएंगे, नोएडा, ग्रेटर नोएडा एरिया में जो हैं?
हाँ, मेरे कहने का मतलब है यमुना औद्योगिक विकास प्राधिकरण, ग्रेटर नोएडा प्राधिकरण और नोएडा प्राधिकरण. आज जो मैंने एग्जैक्ट फिगर ली थी, तकरीबन 20,000 से 25,000 के करीब ग्रेटर नोएडा में दिए जा सकते हैं.
अच्छा.
और से 15,000 के बीच में नोएडा में दिए जा सकते हैं. और 10,000 के करीब यमुना एक्सप्रेसवे प्राधिकरण में दिए जा सकते हैं. तो ये तकरीबन 45,000 से 50 के आसपास बैठ रही है फिगर. धीरेन्द्र
जी, हम ये नोट करेंगे और आपका यू हैव गिवन अस योर वर्ड कि ये होगा दिसंबर तक और कम से कम कुछ 45 हज़ार लोगों को तो एटलीस्ट कुछ मिलेगा. हम आपसे बाद में बात करेंगे और डिटेल्स लेंगे इस बारे में. शुक्रिया अभी हमसे बात करने के लिए. क्विकली कमिंग बैक to Raman Malik and Sanjay Jha. Over to you, and as I come to you, let's also address the second part of this debate, which is to say if there should be a change to the bankruptcy law that can include the home buyers. Raman Malik, over to you first. Also mind what, do keep in mind what the MLA just said. He said builderon ne inko dhoka diya hai. I'm just saying that's what the MLA said.
I am totally endorsing this view. I am not defying this view. I'll give you classic 2-3 examples. What has happened over a period of time, whether it is in the case of whether it was the other scam or other things, it is well known how it happened. I would further go on into Gurugram, where I stay. I have seen how the things worked, how it was benefited and whatever. But the fact of the matter remains is that once you are taking the money, and a classic example being Himachal, if you look at the Himachal laws of development, they say that you should have an educate fund, you should keep the fund in an escrow account, the property should develop, and that is why you don't see that kind of boom and that kind of mad rush that was here in Noida and Greater Noida and Gurugram that has happened. So till 2012, these laws were already in place when the government came in, the next government came in.
I agree, but so now you're in charge. You have to fix the problem, and you can't just talk about the future. Yes, Sanjay Jha, the point is between 2002.
You please understand something.
Okay.
If in a year and a half, if I announce in a matter of 18 months, if I announce 3 master plans, 2021, 2025 and 2031, and I give a free leash to the builders to start developing haywire without knowing the magnitude of what is the infrastructure required today and what it is going to be. It's totally a bizarre thing.
I can
so
tell
one
you,
has to
if you
understand
drive around that entire area, there are buildings, unsold homes.
Development have to go in tandem.
Sure. But there are unsold homes because people are not buying right now because there won't be a real estate price correction that will take place because people are scared. They have seen how many others have lost their money around them, and until and unless we fix that, Sanjay Jha, there is not going to be a revival in the market. If you tell the banks to come and take these buildings, yes, Mr. Malik, let me take it across to the other panelists.
The builder was selling.
Let me take it across to the other panelists. When the builders were selling these dreams, we let them.
They were collecting cash also. The government of the day was sitting blind.
The government of the day was sitting blind. So in Uttar Pradesh, the Samajwadi Party was sitting blind. In Delhi, the Congress Party was sitting blind. In Gurgaon, it was the Congress Party again. So Sanjay Jha.
In Haryana, the Congress was sitting blind.
In Haryana, the Congress was.
They were sitting blind.
In Karnataka, they still are. Sanjay Jha. Respond, don't make it political, but the fact is that yes, those projects were sold, the builders got carried away, there was no end to their greed, and now they've all gone with that money.
Tanvi, I mean, regretfully, I think I thought we were going to discuss the plight of the homeowners and not allow the BJP here to, take cheap pot shots, especially considering that they have launched the biggest money laundering scheme in demonetization. But let me not get into that
this is not cheap
level
pot
of
shot, this is
conversation that
reality.
Mr. Malik is encouraging.
It bites.
The short and simple point is, fine, fair. Good luck.
Please mind your words,
Mr. Malik.
Jha.
Let others also have a voice in this conversation. Calm down, relax. Relax, take it, calm down. So, Tanvi, the basic point that I'm going to make here is very straightforward, that today the ordinary homeowner is extremely susceptible to the builder community. That's not a secret at all. The other part, which is also true, irrespective of any political party. Now, I'm going to make a bipartisan statement. I'm not going to make these cheap jibes at each other that, my counterpart is encouraging. Irrespective of any political party. At some stage, these land sharks have been in collusion with bureaucracy and with the political
Mr.
system.
Jha,
so you have a very
I am not a pass out of Piddy Gandhi Institute of Artificial Intelligence.
Mr. Malik, can you allow me to talk instead of interrupting every second? I understand your compulsive need to talk, but
let's not derail Mr. Raman Malik. Mr. Raman Malik, let's not derail. These pot shots are really unnecessary right now. The phones are ringing in the background in the newsroom because there's so many of these buyers who have questions for you all. So let's quickly make those points and take some more phone calls. Sure. Yes, Sanjay Jha, finish your point, please. Sure. The bipartisan point.
Yeah. So Tanvi, my point is, it's not just the real estate regulation. I think end of day, there are a couple of things that are very important. That there is hardly a single example. You'll find an Orbit in Mumbai or some other people in Delhi. But at the end of the day, I don't think builders have been really severely penalized. One of the reasons behind that is that the large banks which lend money to the builders try very hard to protect them because they got to recoup their money back. And many of them are public sector banks or high-profile private sector banks. So there is a deeper attempt to try and camouflage the problems because end of the day, the large creditors want their money back before the ordinary home buyer like you and me will get recourse to our investment.
So should that change?
So I think that is the hard tragedy of our times.
Can the home buyer become
in full support, and absolutely it has to change.
Raman Malik, can the home buyer be put on par with the banks, with the secured creditors?
The way to change
my question is just this.
Ask Mr. Jha a simple question. When the government was in place and they were giving loans on a trademark. On a trademark, they were forwarding loans to private sector, public sector banks. Where was the conscious sleeping at that point? My point here is, which must be understood, their government gave in Haryana a very clear mandate that you can defer the EDC. You can keep deferring the payment. They kept buying
Haryana
the other real estate
corrupt state and the most ineffective state in India.
They kept buying another real estate, another one, and making land pools. Where was the collective consciousness or the bipartisan consciousness at that point? The whole point is you have spoiled the entire broth. Now it will take time
the fact
to resolve
is,
it,
Mr.
because
Malik, the
even
fact
if you
is that
put the
everybody
builder in
looked the
jail,
other way,
the builder cannot,
because
you
nobody
cannot
is
take
going
out
to
the
sit
money
here
from
and
the
deny
builder.
the nexus that exists between netas and builders and the corruption that
See, the
goes on
point is,
and the babus
now
in that
you put
mix
the
as
builder
well.
in the jail.
No.
And he does not develop, his company goes bust.
The builder
What
is
are you going
which
to
is
do?
not going to give you the money. They have already said we don't have the money.
What are you going to do if
Mr.
the
Malik, I don't
company
understand
totally goes
this.
bust?
I don't understand this argument. The builder
See,
has
where
already
did the
said we
money
don't
go?
have the money. Where did the
question
money
is,
go
where
is
did
for
the
you
money
to
go? It did
investigate.
not vanish into
Where did
thin
the money
air.
go is for you to investigate. If it got siphoned
No,
off,
that is
it
what
went
I'm trying to
offshore,
tell you.
if it went
The money
overseas,
went-
it's for you to tell us. You have to first put that man in jail.
went
You have to
offshore,
sell off his
yes,
private
it
properties,
went- it
repay
went
these
into
home
other
buyers and tell us where the money went.
ventures, yes. It went into making land pools, yes. And that is what was supported. Then that is what I'm trying to bring forward. That is the main cancer in this entire field.
But how are you, okay, how are you?
The real estate industry, I know it because I have been a broker myself and I know it. That is how they developed. That is how they work.
He's trying to dodge your question.
Mr. Raman,
He has no answers.
Mr. Ramak Malik, I will again ask
He
you.
has
I
no
agree
answers.
with
He's
you.
only
I
dodging
agree
your
with you.
question.
You know what? The onus is on you now. If somebody allowed a corrupt system to continue, it's on you to act against them, Raman
so
Malik.
I'll give you a very
Point
small
number
example,
two,
what
if
we
you are
have done
so
in
well
Haryana
aware of how this dirty
done in
real estate
Haryana to
industry
get it
works,
done.
please listen to me. I have a specific question. If you are so, and you are very well aware, like you said, then you tell us, when will you act? Why don't you send them to jail, track down the money where it's gone and pay it back to the buyers?
I'll tell you what we are doing.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'll tell you what we are doing. I'll tell you what we are doing. In Haryana, for example, what we have done
Yes,
is
we are listening.
we
We are
have
listening.
tried
Tell us what you have
to
done.
get hold of these developers by creating their properties and creating our interest, the government's interest into the property by acquiring and mortgaging their assets in that particular project for the EDCs, and we tell them that you complete, you buy back your mortgage, so that there is some culpability, some liability factor. That is one. The second point is, by getting RERA in, the government of the day has given a very clear indication towards the way forward. We are trying here to create a system, an ecology where these kind of acts, where the builders took the money for a project but gave it to somebody else to buy another piece of land, another thing. So those things can be stopped. So you have to plug the gaps first before you can do the entire rework of the issue.
You know, I can just read out some of the comments that are constantly
Sanjay, can I
also
make a
being played
point,
out.
please?
Yes, Sanjay, just give me 30 seconds, please. Both parties will have no power if they want.
Sure,
they can act on
sure.
builders tomorrow, but they won't. So the viewers are seeing through the arguments that you're all making. This is what Satish Gupta has to say. A building takes around 3 years. If there is no watch of any agency on these builders, then what about accountability, says Manish. All builders go through internal and external audit. What about the CAs, lawyers associated with these companies? Have we asked them, where has this money gone? These are some of the questions. They're running on the screen. The poll is active right now. Mr. Malik, you started off on a more assuring note. But right now, the arguments that you are presenting, 68% of the participants on our poll do not agree with the arguments that you're presenting. I'm just putting out the data. It's not that Sanjay Jha is doing better. He still has to convince 20%. But yes, the task is more difficult for you. One more caller. Please listen. One more caller.
Being brought under
one more caller. I believe Mr. Harpal Singh is on the phone line and he has a question. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, my question is... Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is for Mr. Raman Malik, being from ruling party in Haryana. I'm calling from Gurgaon. Right. Mr. Malik, why Haryana government is delaying RERA, a RERA which is already pro-builder, already diluted? Why you are delaying it? Why not implementing it? It's already 1.5 years since the central government has passed it in the parliament.
Yes, okay. That's the question by Harinder Pal that Raman Malik will answer. Yes, very quickly, one more caller so that you can both of you can just take the callers' queries together. We have one more caller.
One line answer.
Amit is on the phone line.
Applications had been called.
Yeah, I'm calling from Noida.
Mr. Raman Malik, just listen to Amit as well and then you can answer both. Amit, go ahead.
On this
I'm calling from Noida and our project is Amrapali. And I have a specific question for BJP. Like, now your government is in center, in state. Everywhere the BJP is there. And we are the peoples who have selected you. From the day of the Chief Minister has taken the chair, what you people have done for our interest? You have done nothing. You people are just making a mockery of us. Our money has stuck. Our life is in danger. And you people are not doing anything
if you
except...
joined in, you would have heard the...
Yes, Amit, in fact, yes.
Noida, and Tanvi was able to bring him over and he had given a commitment of 45 to 50,000 apartments being handed over by December.
That's the commitment.
If I'm not wrong.
That's the commitment that the Yogi government has made and we're going to follow up on that, Amit. We were just speaking to an MLA, Dhirendra Singh, who said that they are on track with the plan of giving 50,000 houses in Greater Noida and Noida. We will follow up on that. Maybe there is some hope. How will they decide who gets those apartments is for us to figure out. But Raman Malik, to you to respond to the first caller and then Sanjay Jha can come in and make his point, please.
Okay. So as per the RERA is concerned in Haryana, I can assure you that the interviews are already under process. And the panel is interviewing the people who are going to be on that board. Because there has to be a senior judge and a couple of other people who have to scrutinize these people who become members of the RERA board. So that process is already on of interviews. Call letters have gone, interviews have started.
Okay. Sanjay Jha, you wanted to make a point, please do, and then we go on to the third question. Maybe you can start addressing that. What should be the option for the home buyers?
Sure.
So what is it that the government can do? Like Raman Malik alleges, you may have allowed the builders to have a great time in your tenure, but tell us now, what is the solution? What should the BJP government do?
Yeah, you know, I don't want to, once again, I'll say it for the umpteenth time. I mean, I did not expect to be on this debate to have the usual, you know, political bloodfest with
and
the
it's
BJP.
not.
I mean, they run the state of Maharashtra where I live in Mumbai.
Yes.
And I live in Mumbai. Yeah, Tanvi, just a second. I live in Mumbai, and Mumbai has probably, it's a really an urban concrete jungle, and some of the most illegal buildings that have happened have been approved by the BMC, run by the BJP and the Shiv Sena over the last 30 years. I don't want to score these points here. I think we are talking about the consumers and the homeowners today, and I think we should focus on them. My main point here is very straightforward, that end of day, the institutional infrastructure is not protecting the ordinary home buyer. That needs to change. And I'll tell you the only way you can change that is by having a very stringent execution. Now, laws can be framed to say that, you know, we'll take care of all the homeowners, etc., etc. But even if you look at the bankruptcy code, it doesn't really, you know, give recourse to the home buyer who's already invested his money to get his money back in case the project is, you know, completely written off. So the whole, you know, the problem of the debt recovery goes in favor of those who are the really institutional creditors. So there is a lopsided law today which is against the home buyer. The RERA is, I think, a step. Perhaps I don't think it's a completely fine law. There are too many fault lines there. So we still need to do a lot more to protect the home buyer. And please remember this, Tanvi, that today, if I'll give an example of my city of Mumbai, there are flats which are costing nothing less than a couple of crores. How can an ordinary person buy those flats? Which is why I think there is a talk of a lot of black money which is being used even today. And I think the one thing that the government needs to do is to bring the GST needs to be
so change the law, change the law in a way that it protects the citizens, not just the banks and the creditors. Is the point that I will pick up. Closing comments, 30 seconds, Mr. Malik. I'm completely out of time here. Will you do that? Will you amend the bankruptcy law? Will you push the centre to amend the bankruptcy law?
There are works being done on bringing in some changes for the individuals also. Those are being worked on, but at the same time, I would thank Mr. Sanjay Jha for accepting that in the last so many years, what they have done is favored somebody else rather than what they're preaching right now. And another thing which I can confirm here is that this government is giving way
Malik,
to take away the black money, suck out the black money in every possible way, which has inflated things. Houses for all are being done. All that they did was just blabber out.
Now you've gone back to politics again. I just want to say, sir, as we wrap up this, yes. No, okay, so let these be the takeaways here, Mr. Malik and Mr. Jha. The fact is that you need to bring in a bankruptcy law that puts the home buyers on par with the banks. They have lost their money too. They should be given equal amount of importance. So figure out another way of doing that. Number two, RERA is still struggling. Things have to be fine-tuned. If you want to make the builders accountable, do it. We, in fact, want to go ahead and say if the builders fail and to deliver on their promises, then send them behind bars, sell off their silverware if you need to, but repay the citizens. Because these are the voters who put you in power, and they will put you out of power if you do not take care of them. On that note, we will wrap up this show. Thank you to both our panelists for joining us.